That brings the time now to 7:37. And as promised, concerned that South African hotels may have a slower December season given the huge boom in tourism figures during the World Cup should not be overplayed, as 2011 bodes extremely well for South Africa's tourism industry. Now, a recent study by the University of Cape Town suggests that more than 80% of visitors during the Soccer World Cup are likely to return to South Africa in the future for a holiday. CEO of Pepper Club Hotel and Spa, a veteran in the country's hospitality industry, Mr. Nick Seewer, believes that South Africa is only likely to start feeling the repeat benefit of the World Cup from next year. He now joins us on the line. Mr. Seewer, good morning.
Good morning to you.
I hope
Yes, it's that, but that's fine. You pronounced it extremely well.
Now, the FIFA World Cup tournament has done the country good in putting it into the international stage of tourism and as a destination. But you say that those results may only be seen next year. Why?
I think one is likely to see the results sooner rather than later. I think one must underplay the great, opportunity that we had with the World Cup. I think, it's definitely created the exposure to a beautiful destination, and I think, maybe not from our, the traditional markets, but we're going to see, I think, tourism come in from the traditional markets, but also from new emerging markets. So I think the opportunities are there.
Well, what should the hospitality industry expect this season, though?
This season, look, there is no doubt that the recession, the global recession, has brought about to the type of tourism we were used to, especially out of the traditional markets. But I still believe that, with the booking patterns changing, booking patterns have changed from one of booking up several months before to now very much last-minute bookings, that we will see, we will have a good season. I don't think it will be the best season we've had, but it'll still be an excellent season. And we will get the numbers coming in from the traditional markets and also from the emerging markets, the Far East, the Middle East, from South America. There's a lot of demand now coming through from South America, which is nice to see. And also, one mustn't forget our domestic market and also the African market. We're finding a lot more travellers out of Africa, whether they be on business or on leisure. So I am still very hopeful will be a good one.
Now, how much has the country's tourism industry changed over the years, and how do you think has the World Cup helped the country's image?
I think, dealing with your second question first, I think the World Cup has done an amazing job. I think the very fact that it went off so well, it was probably one of the best organised World Cups that we've seen. I think it showed South Africa in a great light. I think it showed us as a first world destination, really, as a tourist destination. Not only such a beautiful country, but also with excellent infrastructure. Our airports are excellent, our roads are excellent, and I think it did us an amazing amount of good at a time when the rest of the world is probably struggling. So I think we came out of it extremely well, and we would be high on the list of a choice destination at this particular. Has the industry changed over the last 20 years or so? Absolutely, yes. I mean, everything has changed. If you go back 20 years, we didn't get the volumes of tourism that we are now. We certainly are receiving a lot more numbers from countries like America, that's the USA, North America, from Europe. Obviously, our traditional market of the UK was probably our biggest market at that stage, but things have changed dramatically. Just in the number of hotels here, there were very few hotels, there were very few restaurants. The industry has done a lot to expand businesses in this country. And if you look at our airports, if you look at the roads, things have improved so much. And just look at the tourist numbers. Our tourist numbers have increased incredibly, and that's a wonderful thing. I stand to grow tourism a lot over the next number of years. I think as the world comes out of its economic downturn, I think South Africa will start to receive huge numbers of tourists. I really do.
Now, talking about change, let's look at local tourism. How interested are South Africans in touring the country and learning more about South Africa, and what is the pattern of domestic tourism?
Well, I think domestic tourism is a very important part of our industry. We obviously sometimes tend to neglect it, but I think it's something that is growing. I think people want to explore their own country more and more. I think the very fact that international travel is becoming quite expensive for people. People are tending to holiday at home more than they used to, and I think the very fact that we have some excellent packages in the marketplace now, you can go now for holidays at lovely hotels quite inexpensively, and I think that makes it far more attractive, obviously, for people to travel locally. I think that is an area that we must really work on.
Now, Nick, and lastly, how long do you think would the World Cup impact stay with us?
I think it'll stay with us for quite some time. There's a lot of negative talk out there that the World Cup is over and we've been forgotten. But I disagree. I think it's done us an amazing amount of good. I think the very fact that we have other sporting events coming up. South Africa is obviously at the moment participating in the rugby overseas in Europe, and I think that will bring the World Cup back to people's minds. And I think we mustn't underplay the sort of efforts and the great things we did during the World Cup, attract tourism to this country. I think we did an incredibly good job. I think as long as we maintain the sort of hospitality and service levels that we held during the World Cup, the spirit of the World Cup will remain.
And that was CEO of the Pepper Club Hotel and Spa, Mr. Nick Seewer. That brings the time now to